Good morning YouTube, it's Lynn in Perth, WA. And we have a guest meower today. He wants to be in the video, so Puss, say hello. Say good morning viewers. So just to reiterate, it's Lynn from Perth in WA once again. And Puss. And my opening view shot here is of a beautiful Cattleya. It's CG Roebling crossed with Purpurata, and I'm just wallowing in the perfume that it's throwing at me. So today's video is a care collab with Ninja Orchids from Spain, and we are going to spotlight Guarianthe guatamalensis, and this is my pride and joy. Just look at the growth on here. This is in a very large pot and it's quite a large plant, as you can see. I bought this at an auction in 2019, about October, November. So I've had it just a little over a year, so it seems longer. When I bought it, it had 4 new leads coming from it, of which I broke one on the way home because it was so large and a bit difficult to transport. Since then, I've probably broken off another 2, if not 3 new leads, but it just keeps popping them out. I've done a count on this before I started the video, and I've written some things down. So I'm going to do some reading just so that I don't trip up with words and confuse myself. So firstly, it's Guarianthe or Cattleya guatamalensis, or guatamalensis, however you would like to pronounce it and where you're from. It's a primary hybrid between Cattleya aurantiaca, which is an orange plant or orange flowered plant, and Cattleya skinneri, which can be purple, mauve, even white if it's an alba. They're found in Central Americas, principally Guatemala, Honduras, in the south of Mexico, El Salvador, and they grow in montane forests. They like the heat, which they certainly do get in my climate. They like high humidity, which they certainly don't get in my climate, but it seems to be managing quite well despite that. Their height, where they grow, is more between 700 and 1400 metres, and they grow in montane forests. They do have a few colour variations. I've seen others in Perth that just slightly different coloration to mine, and when you first see them you might not think it's a guatamalensis, but yes, it is. So what I'm going to do now, before I talk more about this particular orchid, because I'm showing you how this one should look, and then we're going over to another one and this is how it shouldn't look. Don't ask me what I've done to this. I've got a feeling that I might have divided this plant and given a piece to a friend, and this is what's happened to it. So because of this, I've decided now that no more divisions going to friends until I have done what I've done with this one here, and I've cut the rhizome in at least one place, maybe more. When I do it, I tend to put in a little, it's going to be hard to see now because I don't think it's here anymore. I normally put, there's a division cut just here. I'm going to put my finger there. Just here. Don't know if you can actually see the division. See, it's a little bit black down there. That's where it's cut. It's not that the cut is black, it's just the media you can see around it. So that was probably my first cut. So from that cut, I would say I've got this new growth here, and maybe this one here. In fact, I'd say definitely this one here. But it's also possible that I've cut this again somewhere around here, I don't know, but hoping that will make it easier when I divide it, that I've got actually 2 separate plants at least in this pot. What I've done here, you can see they tend to want to lean over when they first come up, so I've put this little bit of it's what I use for my plant tags. I put that there to actually push it up, and I've done it possibly here, although I might have missed this one, but definitely doing it here. So you can see that this one, which had started to grow over the side of the pot, has now straightened itself up. You can see the nice straightening method that it's used there. So that's what I do. It's actually a piece of Venetian blind that I cut up. They're very good if you've got old Venetian blinds and you want to get rid of them. Keep some of the slats and cut them up. They make great name tags. So that's what I do to straighten it up, and I would have done the same with this one here, because this one would have been coming out this way. So that's how I like to straighten them. I also like to keep them straight by using a stake. Once they are straight, then I will remove the stake. Like I've removed this one and this one, they would have been staked, as was this one and possibly even this one. So once they straighten up, I then remove the stakes. I find that it has a glaucous type effect on the leaf, and you also find this on other maybe Brassivola types. Glauca comes to mind, and what's the pretty yellow one with the... That's right, I'm having an age moment. I'll spit it out in a minute. But it's a protective measure, and you don't want to be scrubbing it off, as I've seen someone do on YouTube. Yeah. So that's my large guatamalensis, and currently it has... sorry, I'm just looking for my... oh, here we go. 11. It's got 11 new growths, plus bulging eyes, and as I said, I've knocked off at least 2 or 3, and I forgot to count the pseudobulbs that were existing, but there's probably at least 10 or 11 that were there. This one, when I first got it, had 4 leads, of which they're all dead. So this is going to go into the bin after I've done this video. It's just been getting progressively worse. And like I said, no more splitting and giving away to friends before I've cut them and they've actually established themselves as a new plant in the pot. I feed this regularly with liquid feeds and solid feed. I use pellets of Neutrog Strike Back for Orchids as a solid feed, and I use various liquid feeds. I've got so much stuff in my cupboard, so much stock, I'm trying to just use it all up. It sometimes gets feeds of potassium nitrate in between to encourage flowering, which I've been doing recently, and also it will get CalMag if I think it needs it, or just as a boost anyway. So that's how I feed all my orchids. Nothing much else I can tell you, I don't think, about this. It likes clean water, which is RO or rain, but I do have to give it some scheme water between when I run out. Yeah, so that's about all I can tell you, I think. My temperatures here in summer are extremely hot, and when I say extremely, I'm talking sort of between 35 and maybe 41, 42 sometimes. So, which is more than it likes. It does like the high 30s, but it does often get 40s, and our summers seem to be just getting hotter and hotter. Winter here will drop down at night, sometimes to maybe 2 or 3 in extremes, but usually around 4, 5, 6. And it seems to tolerate that quite well. Okay, that's enough on guatamalensis now. There's not much else happening out in my grow area apart from this beautiful, beautiful CG Robling, which I didn't know was blooming until yesterday. I went out into my front area, into my shade house, and I was watering and I could smell this perfume. So I actually had to look for it because it was facing away from me. So I hope it's not been out too long. Something seems to have got at it, or it's got some water damage on it just there. But anyway, it's still beautiful. And just in the background there, you can see a bud about to open on Guarianthe grandiflora, and one coming up behind because this is a consecutive bloomer, or a sequential bloomer if you like. So that will be open in a day or two. Nothing much more happening. The odd spike or two, but nothing. Oh, I do have a nice little, or hope that wasn't too quick, that move around. I do have a nice little mini, gosh, I'm having trouble with my words today. Phalaenopsis. It's rather sweet. And I think I might have had this a few years ago and it died on me. So somewhere there's a label. I'll have to try and find it. So I'm pretty sure they're the same orchid. Yeah. So I've been collecting more Hoyas. I think I showed you in my last video what I've been doing with my Hoyas. This one's a bit of a rare one. Hushkeliana, that's something like that. It could be. It's a pink. What else have I been doing? I bought a new one which is indoors. I won't go and get that one. But that one is a miniature. It's got a tiny, tiny, tiny flower. I've lost quite a few orchids. I've chucked away a few mounts. My Angraecum veitchii is not looking the best at the moment. I think it's just been too hot for it. And I've been decorating my tree, my hanging tree, and using my little hangers there on that. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, I'll just get past this lot without knocking them over. Another Hoya that I sort of put in a double pot. I might have shown you this in my last video, but you can have another look. This is Potsy Eye, and it's doing very well this season. It's just taken off. And that one now. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Everything that is alive is looking quite lush. So I'll probably do another video when Guarianthe blooms again, and anything else that might come out. So I'll sign off now and just say once again, I hope you're all well out in Europe and the States and everywhere else. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon.